Welcome to No Instructions. I'm Bob.
And I'm Josh.
And we're back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Welcome back to you as well.
I've been around.
You've been around. What's new?
I don't know. How was your vacation?
It was a vacation.
You're like the therapy session. Like, how did it go?
Yeah. So it was good. Like we talked about last time, I did my best to try to be yes guy, to just say yes to stuff. And that was way harder than I thought. Partly because, so we got a beach house and we stayed near the beach. Which, in a house. And they call it a beach house. I'm not really sure why they call it that. But anyway, it was at the beach and it was a house. We stayed there in one place. Typically, we go to Florida and we have to go to a bunch of different places to see all of Jenny's different family. And so we're like moving from house to house. So this time I was kind of excited because we got one place to stay. And we told her family, all the different, huge family, come see us. Come to where we are. And it was good, but also kind of exhausting because there was a lot of people in and out. And, people spent the night, multiple nights, and kids playing with cousins and staying up super late and being grumpy in the morning. And then there was other family around who had different morning routines. And some of her family gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning for no particular reason. And
that's
stuff
not
like
beach
that.
house kind of attitude.
But that's just what they do. They're clocks that work that way. Anyway, so there was a lot of it wasn't a relaxing trip. Say it that way. It wasn't a bad trip, but it wasn't I'm going to go just relax for a week and unwind. It was a
family reunion.
Yeah, pretty much, which is good, but also just tiring.
That you had to, or your family had to orchestrate.
Yeah. So
that's good that everybody came. I mean, whenever we moved back from Europe, we were an hour and some change away from my family and my wife's family. And we have paid a lot of money to go see a lot of people for Thanksgivings and holidays. Because, when we became grown-ups and we moved away, we moved far.
Yeah.
So whenever we finally came back to the States, we're like, hey, man, we're an hour away. Everybody come to our house for Thanksgiving. We'll have a big thing. It's going to be great. And one person came. And I felt very slighted. So I'm very glad that when you put yourself out there and you guys had the effort, that people responded appropriately to it. Yeah, it kind of sucks when they don't.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. Especially being gone for so long and then moving back, if nobody's taken a little bit of effort. But I will say that I had nothing to do with it, so I don't want to claim anything there. Jenny is great about being considerate, about thinking about definitely to a fault, thinking about other people and including them and making sure everybody's up to date on where everything's at and who's doing what, and she's just thinking about other people all the time, which is not a bad thing. So she orchestrated that, kind of set the whole thing up, and had people communicating with people about when they were coming, and I just was there for that part of it. But we had a good time. It was a really cool little house. The only downside, though, it slept 8, and we intentionally got it a little bit bigger so the family could have a place to sleep. And the pictures looked awesome. Had a big, giant pool in the backyard. 3 blocks from the beach. Until they walked down there. There's a boardwalk right there and stuff. So we got there, and we're walking through the bottom, and we're like, there's no stairs in this place. And we walk around the side of the house, and there's stairs on the side of the house. They go up to the upstairs with a separate door and separate everything. And so it was basically 2 separate places stacked on top of each other. And we have 4 elementary school age kids. We're not going to put them downstairs in a separate, apartment or whatever. And so I was a little put out right when we got there just because of that. So we had paid for this bigger place that we basically couldn't really take full advantage of.
Yeah.
And it ended up being fine. There was a pull-out couch upstairs, and we had plenty of room, and everybody spread out. And so it was good. My throat is a little today. Sorry. Been talking and stuff. But anyway, it was a good time. The pool was really nice. I tried the beach again.
Still no?
Just, yeah. I was telling you earlier, I literally thought about the lines that Anakin spoke in one of those terrible prequels where he was just like talking about the sand and how it gets everywhere. It's coarse.
Itchy and coarse. Gets everywhere.
And I was laying on the beach feeling that exact same way. Like, why do people go here on purpose? It doesn't make any sense. So, but,
The sand where I'm from is nice and soft.
everybody says that.
And squishy.
Everybody says
and
that.
it makes a sound when you walk on it.
Everybody says that. I did go to Sanibel one time, which is on the Gulf side. And, I mean, I've been to Destin, Pensacola. But I remember the sand in Sanibel being, like, really light. And not visually. I guess it was white, too. But it was just, like, it didn't really stick to you. Mm-hmm. It felt a lot different than other sand. But whatever. Still sand.
Stupid sand.
Stupid sand. No, it was fun.
Forby went to the beach, too.
He did. He went to Pensacola. Or somewhere in that area. Not exactly sure where. Anthony went to the mountains, which is not the beach.
So I should have went to the desert?
You should have gone to the mountains. Or you could have gone to the beach and I could have gone to the mountains and then it would have been great.
That'd been great.
Yeah.
I would love to go to the beach.
What did you do all week?
I did all the little tiny things. I hung out with my kids a lot, which was fun.
That's not a tiny thing.
Well, I mean, it's like the little stuff. It was nice because I got to just be home with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not normally home during the day with them. And the big trip I was going to try to take with my son never ended up happening because I couldn't really figure out where to go. And I don't know. It just it didn't happen. Do you
think it will?
Yeah, it would have been rushed. It would have been like, let's go somewhere. Let's go to Chicago or something. And spent a lot more money than I needed to because it was just this last minute kind of push to do something like that. So it didn't happen. Not saying that it won't happen, but I went swimming. I made a bunch of stuff at my house.
Cool.
My pool is so nice. God, I love having a pool. It was warm, and I'd go for a run, and I just jumped in the water. It was so cool. My daughter is swimming underwater now with me.
Nice.
She wants to like retrieve the items off the bottom of the pool, but she's still a little too afraid to like jump off of the side into the water by herself.
Yeah.
To go retrieve it. She'll jump off the water and then swim to me with no problem, but like to jump off
down
with the purpose of going deep underwater to get it. So she gets on my back. I stand at the opposite end of the pool where the item to be retrieved is. We both go underwater. I kind of get on all fours and then I like crawl across the bottom of the pool until she reaches out and grabs what it is, and then we both go back up.
That's cool.
And so now I've done a thing where I'll go up to it and probably a foot and a half away from it, and I'll just stop. And she has to push off of me to go grab it, and then she pushes off the bottom to go to the top. But that kid's crazy. She loves being underwater. She wants to go swimming all the time, and I'm all about it.
Yeah, I love the fact that my kids are swimmers. You know, like they love swimming. They've been doing it since they were very young, and that's super awesome. Like we were lifeguarding while we were at the pool. You know, just kind of we made sure there was an adult around. We told them they can't get in the water without anybody. But I never once, when they're swimming, worry about like that they can't swim or that it's you know. I mean, there's always stuff that can happen. Somebody can hit their head or get held under accidentally, but it's a nice confidence thing to know that like they know how to get out of the pool.
Yep.
If they get thrown in or something bad happens, like they're, you know, capable. Whereas
it takes a big stress off.
Yeah, it really does. And like then you can watch them enjoy it and not be like scared for them or watching every move worried, you know, something's going to happen.
My wife still makes that like kind of noises. Everything's okay. Yeah, we had a block party the other day. Yeah, we organized. That was kind of nice. Had all the neighbors come over and had a big cookout. And
how many of your neighbors do you know?
How many of my neighbors do I know?
I mean, percentage-wise. You know.
Well, you had to define neighbors first. I know people probably 4 houses up. 1, 2, 3. 4 houses to my left. I met people across the street and next to them, and then I know the one person to the right. That's about it.
Yeah.
So in our neighborhood, it's set up like an 11. It's just like one or the other side of the street. It's a very linear kind of house. It's not squiggly. It doesn't go back and like make little cul-de-sacs and things. It's
Straight, I think
very
is the word you're looking for.
parallel. Yeah. The houses face each other. Okay. So I know about that many.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big thing to like get to know people in your neighborhood, whether you like get close to them or not. I mean, that's also cool, but just like knowing enough people right around you that you can say hi to and interact with and stuff is nice. Because when you don't have that, especially if you live a place for a really long time and you don't have that, it can be kind of weird. It's just like you go to your house and then you're done. You're just there. Like we're lucky enough to know a lot of the people in the neighborhood. We know a few of the people right around us. I guess most of the people right around us. But we know some other people just kind of spread throughout the neighborhood, and that's pretty cool.
It's nice. I mean, because yeah, they're human beings and they live next to you, but it's that sense of community and kind of neighborly that, like my neighbor's building a pool, and he's a cool guy. I know him. He knows me. He knows what I'm capable of, and when he needs help, he comes ask me. So I helped him try to assemble. So he has.
Oh yeah, explain this whole story.
He's building a pool from a kit, which I didn't know was a thing. I just thought you like dug a hole and then you paid somebody a ridiculous amount of money and then they come and make a pool.
I think that's usually the way it happens.
Well, I think he originally tried to do that. He wanted to go with this pool kit idea. Then they paid some guy and then he completely flopped and like took their money. And then he's about to go, and he's a big dude. He's one of the like resource officer, disciplinary kind of people, whatever, at the high school, and is one of the football coaches and a retired fireman. So like he could crush this guy. But so the kit, he had a guy with a giant excavator who digs pools for like the local pool company come out and dug the hole according to this huge binder that he has. And it has the grade built in, the deep end, the shallow end, the weird like cloud kind of shape. And then it has these composite walls that are segments of this rounded, very bubbly type exterior.
So it's not like a rectangular pool. It's got curvy.
It looks
sides.
like a big cloud.
Gotcha.
Big squish blob. And we were assembling all these pieces, and he had to stake out these reference points in the yard. And then those reference points in the yard informed where the hole was going to be dug. And then, according to the grate, you re-reference these stakes in the ground, and all of the pieces on the side will then reference off of that one like point, that one reference point. So it had like a number. And so he has this huge binder, and all of the little composite panels that get bolted together, and then it has this A-frame brace on the outside that gets bolted down into the dirt. And we had to measure from the reference point to each one of those joints. And so we were just, here's the stairs, and then the stairs get assembled to these little chunks of the black composite outside, and so on and so on. So had to make sure it was within, I think it was like 1.25 inches of the reference point, and it was. And then that gets backfilled on the outside with concrete, and then the big hole that gets graded, like this, the dirt gets graded, and then it has to be mortared over, which we haven't got to that part yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm helping with that. Which, I mean, I'm all about helping, but like that part sounds like it's gonna suck.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just every day he gets like, here's a little trucks full of gravel in the backyard, and he just throws some gravel in there, and then he's got to figure out where to put the plumbing, and it's all in this binder thing that comes with the kit. It's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
And so he works for the high school, so he kind of has the summer off. But all this was supposed to happen a lot earlier, but they kind of got their money taken or whatever. So he's hoping to maybe have this pool ready before it freezes.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's going to slow down so much when school starts back, too.
Yep.
Oh, man.
So I go out and help him every chance I can. But it's just, man, watch this big old dirty, sweaty dude trying to make a pool. And it's like, it kind of looks like a pool now. I guess it's got walls. And it has a little bit of rainwater stuck at the bottom.
So technically it's a pool.
Technically it's a pool.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I would not want to make a pool. I had a pool.
No.
I liked having a pool. I didn't really like taking care of a pool, but I definitely would not want to make one.
I'm kind of becoming more and more fond of taking care of the pool. Like we talked about here, like it's my pet.
Right.
Like we don't have the dog anymore. And so I can baby the pool, and then I get to play in it
Yeah.
whenever I want to.
And it doesn't pee on you or like poop in your living room.
Nope.
I hope.
My daughter told my wife to pee in the pool. And I'm like, okay, I don't know where you got it that it was okay to pee in the pool. But whatever.
Whatever.
It's a pool, man. Whatever.
It intentionally has chemicals in it that kill stuff. So you're good.
You'll be fine.
Oh, that's pretty neat. Look at that.
What'd you do?
It's like you make a little frame and it slides down over the thingy.
That's neat.
Yeah. By the way, I'm still working on the Blockade Runner, the Lego 75244 set.
You actually said the number. We don't usually do that.
Yeah, I figured we probably should in case anybody wants to look it up and they're not looking at the show notes. By the way, Josh always puts links to the sets we're working on in the show notes.
Those are affiliate links.
Yes.
So thank you. And don't come after us legally because we didn't tell you that because it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you working on?
I'm still putting together this Lunar Excursion model that you got me for my birthday.
What's the experience so far of putting together that type of model?
Well, from the very beginning, this model had the gold foil, like, it's not even sticker, this gold foil stuff that you're supposed to put around the body where it actually has gold foil. And I didn't do that. And I'm continuing to just ignore that piece and just keep driving ahead.
So was that supposed to be here under all of these little things that you put on? Oh, yeah.
And wrapped around a majority of these little tiny squiggly things.
Really?
Yeah. So, pushing forward.
Huh. I wonder if at this point it would be easier to just mask off the parts that are not gold and spray it.
Or spray the whole bottom piece gold and then go back and paint the things that aren't.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So, don't really know yet. But for the sake of productivity, I just want to keep going. But this has, I mean, just like the Lunar Excursion module, it has these tiny little struts and like very delicate.
They are very delicate pieces.
Very skinny braces. And like this one right here isn't even complete. When it came out of the model, like there's a gap in the plastic.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so I had to glue this thing. And so if you can see on the camera, like that is just doesn't have stuff.
Huh.
But it's okay.
You should send it back. Hey, you made this model 25 years ago.
Send it back to 1994.
Yeah. I want my money back. That
Show
I
up
didn't spend back
in my Jinkos and my No Fear t-shirt.
Cool. What else is new? Oh. I bought Super Mario Maker. I tried to play video games.
Yeah?
Yeah, this vacation. And I tried to let my kids play. So we took our Switch with us. There was a giant TV in like this sunroom of this beach house, like a 60-something-inch TV outside.
That was one of the more posh sentences I've ever heard you say, by the way.
Yeah, you know.
You're getting bougie, Bob.
Anyway, it was a rental. But there's this big TV, and I was like, oh, this is a great place. It's not the living room. It's not like where we're going to sleep. It's like a place we can put the Switch so they can play it when we let them, and then when we make them go upstairs, it's not there, right? And they played it quite a bit more than they typically do, but I'm trying to like let them enjoy that more and not be so like tough about it. And at night, I would just bring it inside just because I didn't want it sitting outside. And so I started laying down in bed playing the Switch, which, I mean, for everybody else that owns a Switch, that's probably no big deal. For me, to lay down in bed and play a video game is like, I just don't ever do that. And so I'm laying there, like looking through the games we have. We have all the Mario games and stuff. And I'm like, this is kind of, I should try out the Maker thing. Go on there, it's like $60. I'm like, well,
that's kind of the going rate for Switch games.
Okay. Because I knew they wanted it. Your kids have been talking about it. And they had seen it at your house and stuff. So I was like, oh, this would be a good surprise. So I downloaded it. And I'm laying there. It's like 11:30. I'm like, yeah, I should probably go to bed. Oh, the game's downloaded. Cool, let's try it. An hour.
Yep.
Hour and a half. And I'm like building levels, man. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. This is exactly what I thought it would be. It works exactly as simply as I thought it would work. And I've probably made, I don't know, 10 or 12 levels at this point. Just every night they'd go to bed and I'd sneak it into my bedroom and just like make a level. And it was kind of cool because my oldest, he kept getting in trouble over like dumb little things, just like fighting or talking back or whatever, little things. And so he would lose his time on the Switch. Like, you know, if you act this way, you don't get to do this thing. It's really clear, and he would do it anyway. And then he would lose out on his time. But he kept asking me, I just want to make you a level to play. I just want to make it for you. I just want to make you, I'm not trying to do anything else. I just want to make a level for you to play. And I kept having to tell him no because he was being a jerk.
Yep.
So frustrating because like he legitimately was wanting to make me a level because I'd made several for them. And man, it was like a tough little time to be like, look, dude, I want that for you.
Yep.
So badly. And I would love to play it, but I can't reward that behavior. It may not seem like a reward to you, but it is. And I just can't do that. And so we had to go back and forth on that for a couple of days. And then one morning he got up and was like he's always the first one up. He got up, super quiet, didn't wake anybody else up. And I was up drinking coffee. Being really respectful, got his breakfast, came and ate, sat down, went and got changed, and then just sat down. And like didn't do anything, didn't cause anything, and was just like, hey, can I have my Switch time now? I'm like, absolutely. This is perfect. You didn't like mess with stuff. You just had your morning, and then you asked in a polite way, and I was able to say yes. I was like, this moment right here, dude, this is great. This is how it should be. Like do this again.
Thank you for letting me say yes.
Exactly. And so it was really cool, and I was like, I'm proud of you for this morning and how you've been acting, and that you're being really respectful to everybody, and you're being quiet on purpose, and you didn't do these things that you. And so he played for like, I don't know, 30 minutes or something until whatever the next thing was we had to do. And I was like, all right, man, you got 5 minutes, and then you got to shut it down. 5 minutes passed. All right, man, you got to shut it down. And he was like, but. I'm like, you got to shut it down. But. And it was just back and forth, and then it just broke down. And I'm like, man, you were so close. Like, you did so well, and I'm so proud of you. And I told you I was proud of you. You got to learn to stop when we tell you to stop. And it just started this whole other cycle thing. And I guess it's just like age and self-control and impulse control and stuff. He'll get there, but it's tough when you want stuff for them and you can't give it to him, or you have to take it away because of it's more important for you to follow my directions than it is for you to finish that, putting the Goombas in or whatever.
That game has been a really good tool to be able to hit those points home, because my son loves that game. And he's going to be super stoked that your kids have it now. And it was the same thing. Like we talked about it on here where he made the level for his brother and sister.
Oh, yeah.
He made one for me. I made one for him one night. I did the same thing. My wife and I were watching TV, and she was watching TV, and I was building a level. And it was the same thing. I wanted to incentivize him. I'm like, I made you a level, but you have to do the things you need to do. And I want you to play it because I want to have this moment with you.
Yeah.
I'm not just this angry, grumpy, what's the word I'm trying to find?
Jerk. That's how I feel. Just like
the disciplinarian. Good grief.
Yeah.
Like, I am fun too. And this week also hit that point home where he stays up a lot later than the two younger ones. And I was out by the pool one day, and he was like, Dad, you want to go jump on the trampoline? I'm like, yes, I do. I don't normally enjoy the trampoline. I don't want to jump on the trampoline. But I went, you know what? Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Right.
And we jumped for like a couple minutes, and then it became he and I just talking about stuff. He wanted to stargaze, and we were talking about contrails, and he was asking me about the atmosphere and like silly things because he thinks the clouds are some type of scab that covers over the earth. And I'm like, well, that's not how that works. But we had a really good time. And then the next night he's like, hey, Dad, you want to go jump on the trampoline again? And just like have that time where we go out and talk? I'm like, well, I kind of do, but then I kind of don't. But the Switch was also that thing that I know he really enjoyed. I thought it was fun. I mean, we talk about this being, strictly for the kids, but the game is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And I wanted to make it challenging. And when he played my level, he got mad at it. I'm like, well, my level's not easy. Recognize. Like, you got to figure it out.
Are you making sure that you can complete the level before you give it to him, or do you just make it? Yeah.
No, I QA the level first to make sure that you can actually do it. But my level's not easy. You got to think, and you got to figure it out. And I want to try to trick you because I created a Nintendo account where he can go and find other people's levels and you can share them or post them or whatever. And he found a few that he couldn't beat. And so he's like, well, those are neat, but they're impossible. I'm like, well, it's not impossible. Like, look, it shows you how many people have beat this level. He's like, well, I can't beat it. And so I beat it, like, really simply. He's like, wow, Dad, that's awesome. You're so good at this game. I'm like, well, you know, I'm just not 9.
Yeah.
But then he built a level for me that was the simplest thing, and I died about 20 times on that very first Goomba trying to jump, because it was in the Mario 3D whatever thing, the stuff I had never played before, and the jumping acceleration and kind of that jumping rate is a little off. I'm like, well, I'm not doing great at this.
I don't think I've played that one too much.
It's neat. It has a lot of other functions and characters and things, and he was telling me to put these specific kind of blocks in places, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. So I'm going to do what I know how to do.
We had the same kind of thing where I made a level and my second son accidentally got through the hard part at the beginning, first try. And he was like, because I was saying, man, this is pretty hard, you know, like, don't get frustrated. I intentionally made it difficult. And somehow he just like zoomed right through it. And he was like, this is easy. And then just kind of kept playing and kept going. And he got to the end of it. And he was like, that wasn't hard at all. Like, that was really easy. I'm like, do it again. Just play it one more time. And look for some secret stuff. Because there were like some secret blocks that I put in there. It's like, okay. So he plays it again and died over and over and over. And got so frustrated. And he was like, I can't do it, man. I don't understand why it's so hard. Why'd you make it so hard? I'm like, you told me it was easy a minute ago. It was really funny. But it was one of those things where I was like, man, you can't get frustrated about this. Like, it's supposed to be fun. It's a challenge on purpose, and you're supposed to enjoy the process of playing. You know, that's the important thing here. He's like, oh, I know, but it's really hard.
Well,
I'm like, yeah, I know it's hard. That's part of what's fun.
A very interesting point. Because with the RetroPie that we had in the RV, and now that he has kind of multiple games on the Switch, like some are downloaded so you don't need the cartridge, and this thing where you can have like multiple levels that are just completely independent of each other, they're not sequential like most games are when we were kids. If he hits a snag that he can't pass, he just stops and goes to another game. There's no incentive for tenacity anymore in video games.
Yeah.
Or in this line of video games that my son is in. And that kind of bugged me.
Yeah.
I'm like, no way, man. You got to die like 1,000 times until you magically get it. He's like, no, I don't want to. He's like, that's frustrating. I'm like, well, yeah, that's what games are. They're not fun and enjoyable. They're frustrating. And you have to get through it.
So the same kind of thing in the Wii, oh gosh, what's it called? Super Mario Brothers Wii U Deluxe 225 Switch version, whatever the newest, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
That same, my second son is playing that. And he's playing, I'm watching him play it one time. He keeps talking about these levels that he's like, oh, I got this level and it had this thing. And I'm like, okay, sounds good. So I'm finally sitting down and watching him play this thing. He gets stuck, and then he stops the game in the middle of the level and switches to Nabbed, which is invulnerable. So you can just walk through the Goombas, and they don't do anything to you. And then there's like this Luigi guide mode, and it switches the character to Luigi, and it just auto-plays the level for you. And it gets to the end and finishes the level. And he's like, okay, I'm done with that one. I'm like, you didn't play that level at all. You watched somebody else play that level. It's so weird. I don't know why that's in the game.
Disapprove.
Yeah. It was lame because that's just how he was getting through them, apparently.
Yeah, my level, I made it a little challenging, but not impossible by any means.
Yeah.
And he was just like, oh, well, I can't beat it. And then went to some level that he downloaded that he beat already and tried to show it to me. I'm like, hold on now. And then the ones that he showed me were really easy.
Yeah.
But this one, so apparently in the Mario 3D whatever, something that I've never played, there's a car. Do you know about the car?
No.
Yeah, there's a car. There's a Goomba driving a car. You bounce on his head, you get his car. It's pretty neat.
Okay.
Yeah. So this one level that somebody in France or somewhere made, because it has a little flag of where the person comes from and has their little avatar name. You drive this car through, and he's like, you got to jump on these things, and I was losing, and I was getting really frustrated, and he's like, it's okay, Dad, we'll just play a different one. I'm like, no, boy, I'm going to be angry at this for a week until I figure it out. And after I call Nintendo Power, then I'll figure out how to do this, and then everything will be fine in the world.
Nintendo what?
Yeah. And he was just like sitting there bored looking at me. And I was learning like incremental little time. Oh, maybe we'll try this. Oh, I got it. Now let's try it like this. And it still wasn't working. And all these little epiphanies that you have in video games that eventually you're rewarded for, right? Well, he took it over. And he's trying to do what I was doing. And then he did something different. He just starts going. Like way faster, way farther, skipping over stuff, like bouncing all over things. And then he eventually dies. I'm like, whoa, what did you do? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, we'll do it again.
Huh.
And he was like, well, it did say don't do anything. I was like, what do you mean it said don't do anything? He's like, yeah, this thing earlier on when I was looking at it said just don't do anything. And so apparently in the car, like if you just point the car will go. And the person designed the world, the little level, that if the car, like it goes uphill and downhill and hits little bouncy things and hits the little springy jokers. And if you just let the car go, all of the things in the world are spaced and timed so perfectly and brilliantly so that if you just let the car go, it will go through this crazy mousetrap of a world and beat the level without you trying.
I mean, that's cool from like a building perspective, but not from a playing perspective.
Well, it got me. And it was one of those, like, if we were in a movie like National Treasure and we try way too hard and the simplest stupid thing where you just, like, sit down and you're defeated.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you did nothing. Congratulations. Like, I wasn't warmed on the inside by this revelation. But it was one of those things where I'm going to keep trying, and he's not going to keep trying. And he won because he stopped trying.
Because he gave up.
Crap. That's not what I'm
Yeah,
trying to instill. But
that's not cool.
But yeah, you talk about design, and I think that's the coolest thing about that game is that you can make it as difficult or as complicated or as, things that will fall and are placed strategically. So if you're going to fall into a pit, there just happens to be a little flying Goomba thing you can bounce off of. And the more I saw stuff like that, I'm like, oh, I can try a bunch of other things. And so I put a bunch of thwomps on the level that I made for Deke, and if you don't run at the right spot, like full blast, and there's like 20 of them in a line.
Oh, nice.
And you're running under them as they are trying to squish you, and you're just like barely missing them. So visually, it looks really cool, but it doesn't take a whole lot of effort.
Yeah.
If you like to speed through levels like I do.
So are you one that like will just try to get through it, not try to collect everything?
If I play Mario in any way, my finger is permanently mashed on the B, and then I'm just like rolling my thumb to the A. Like I am always in speed mode. And if the world wants me to slow down, I get bugged. I get irritated. I don't want to go down the pipes. I don't want to try to figure, can I go down this one? Nope. Can I go down this one? No. Full steam ahead.
Huh. I like exploring all the little stuff and looking for secret things. And you wouldn't like my levels because mine are like, they force you to stop and wait on like a thing to happen. And then you have to jump and ride a thing past the right thing and then jump into the right hole. It's like all like precise. Not precise, but like patient.
I think we need to make a level for each other.
I think that's a pretty good idea.
And then Anthony can play it. And he can tell whose level was the coolest.
Obviously.
And then we can put
mine.
We can put it out to the wide world. You have like a code or something from what I've seen.
Yeah, there's like a totally hard to read, like 18-digit code. Check out my new level, J497-7771.
Hand draw this QR code. And share it with your friends.
All right, let me get the new bag here. Do we have any pros and cons?
I think so. I think I might have missed this piece, but I'm not quite sure. I think this is empty.
I'm going to dump this bag.
Anthony, do we have any?
Looking right now.
Okay.
He's looking right now.
Oh, there was a thing.
There was a thing.
Yep.
All
right, so I was watching Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee with Jerry Seinfeld. Mm-hmm. And I forgot who he was talking to.
But it was a comedian.
Whoever's definition of a comedian. But while we're waiting for a pro and con, I will give you a pros and cons-esque rank these things in order of your favorite.
Oh, okay.
There's 4.
All right.
And my wife and I did this, so imagine it, whatever. Take it as easy as you want to. So it is eating, drinking, peeing, and pooping.
Huh.
Your favorite.
Favorite.
Number 1. Least favorite, number 4. Not that you don't like to do it. There has to be a winner.
Huh.
And there has to be a not winner.
Drinking, eating, peeing, pooping.
Mine was drinking, peeing, eating, pooping.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. And she didn't get it. And I'm like, well, you're a girl. And so I don't know if girls, like, when you pee, you have that little, like, from what I gather, that's not a thing.
Yeah, I don't think that's the thing. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we have any pros and cons?
That took a lot less time than I thought it was going to.
Do we have any?
Yeah, nothing new right now.
Nothing new.
I might have something.
We have
here.
no
Hold
pros
on.
and cons.
Somebody,
Come on, people.
I was talking.
So
to
if you
somebody.
are a Patreon member, you can, and you're of a certain level, you can get on the Discord, which we talked about this every week now, I think. But the Discord, there's a lot of communication happening there. A lot of people chatting about stuff, and there's got different topic rooms, and the guys, I don't spend a whole lot of time there because I don't have a lot of time, but the guys are there quite a bit. I try to pop in when I can. But we get a lot of pros and con ideas from the patrons there. So not only do you get connection with other patrons and behind the scenes stuff and all that from being a Patreon member, you also get Discord access, and you can give us topics to talk about right here, if that's of interest to you. Actually, get it whether it's of interest to you or not. But if it is of interest to you, yeah.
Where?
You don't have any?
Is it Instagram?
Yeah, it was an Instagram message. I was talking to somebody, but you can't really highlight an Instagram message. It just gets lost in all the stuff.
Well, one thing, since we don't have any, one thing we didn't talk about, Anthony, did you ever see Spider-Man Far From Home? Oh, we can't talk about it.
I'll give you permission to talk about it.
No, I don't want to ruin it for you.
We can do what we did with Endgame. And just go during lunch.
Yeah. That's a bummer. All right, so we got some pros and cons. Give us one, please, Anthony.
Self-driving cars.
Self-driving cars.
I've never been in a self-driving car, but I would like to.
The only time I've been in one, it wasn't self-driving fully. Jocko has a Tesla. And that thing was awesome.
I want a Tesla. I saw a Tesla at Lowe's earlier.
Oh, yeah? I think there's one in my neighborhood. Somebody has one. Yeah, it was really cool. And would be hands off, it's just like driving along, and it would turn for him and kind of like brake and give him little nudges. And apparently it's not fully self-driving, so that you have to it gives you a sense, or gives you some sort of indication if you don't touch the wheel after a certain amount of time. It's like 3 minutes or something. And I think I don't know if it's a motion or a capacitive touch thing. I think it might be a motion. So it has to feel the weight of your hand on the thing. So to get around that, he had this clamp, like a little bandy clamp with a counterweight on it. And he would just clamp it on the side of the steering wheel. And so it thought that there was a finger touching the side of the thing, and it would just drive. That's pretty awesome. But that car is super cool. Super nice. Like all the finish on the inside and everything was pretty amazing. The sensors and the way that it could kind of keep track of stuff was unbelievable, honestly. And the big screen in the middle of it is just a big touch screen. But they do such a good job with the interface and with the way it all kind of interacts with the rest of the car. It just feels like you're in a future vehicle. It was very, very cool.
I think that's my kind of infatuation with electric vehicles, is that I feel it's about time that somebody did something different.
Yeah.
Like, we've been on gasoline for so long, and that's not like some environmentalist, horn to blow. It's, let's do something different.
Yeah.
Do something better. Let's take a step forward. I would love to try a self-driving car. So I'm going out to the big city next week. Maybe it'll be self-driving cars in the big city.
Maybe in the big city. Probably not there, but you never know.
All right, what else?
What's the next
I
one?
can't see that.
Alpine Albums of cover songs by a single band.
Albums of cover songs by a single band.
Like
So-
Weezer's?
Yeah.
I really like that album.
Do you?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not against it. It sounds, honestly, a lot of the songs sound original.
I've only heard like one song on that, so I can't say that I've heard the whole thing. I like covers when somebody takes a good song and like uses their own influence on the song, right? So they make it sound like a way that it couldn't have sounded by the original artist because the new artist is voicing it.
Like when POD did Bullet the Blue Sky.
Yeah.
I don't like U2 as a general rule. And then when I heard POD's Bullet the Blue Sky, I listened to U2's version. I'm like, oh yeah, it's definitely better.
Yeah, I like things like that where they take it and make it better. But if it's like in the Weezer, I just feel like they're just doing it straight.
It's surprisingly, I mean, it's pretty one for one, honestly.
The thing
There's
I
a
don't-
little bit of Weezer style in it, but it doesn't depart.
The thing I don't like about that is that you have a group of really talented people who are obviously very talented, who can write songs and can orchestrate things in a unique way if they want to, and then they just don't. And it's like, I don't
it's
know.
a cop-out?
We need another album. Well, let's do these songs that we probably don't even have to practice because we're going to do them exactly like the recordings from 40 years ago.
Let's bless the rains down in Africa. Everybody likes that.
Yeah, I'm just like, come on, man. Like, you don't even have to try. Not that it's bad, but it just feels like a cop-out, you know? I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of covers. I've never liked playing covers, ever. I've always tried to avoid that. There are a few things that I would like to do that are covers, but I'll never get around to them. What I've always wanted to do is re-record OK Computer, the entire album, start to finish.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll never do that.
You know,
'cause-
just like the Mona Lisa.
exactly.
Let's draw that real
It's
quick.
my favorite album of all time. And I would love to just be able to play all of those. Hey, watch it. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Be able to play those songs and be able to like kind of reimagine some of the voicing, even though it's a masterpiece in my mind. So I don't expect that I could do it better or anything, but just to be able to experiment with those songs would be a lot of fun. But they're incredibly complex and layered, and you know, you have 5 of like my favorite musicians playing them, so it's not like I could ever do that or anything. But that's the only cover. Oh, that and this is funny. I've always wanted to do. There's a Beck album, and I can't actually remember the name of it right now. The Information, maybe. Do you like Beck?
From what I've heard of Beck.
He has some really interesting stuff. But one of these albums, I think it's The Information, I might be wrong, is a very electronic, upbeat thing. And there's lots of crazy noises because he's a really good producer. So he has all these crazy voices and these sounds that kind of come in and out of it. I've always wanted to re-record that album or another Beck album like that, fully a cappella. So to like make all the crazy sounds with my voice, I think that would be fantastic. And you can get a group of people together and like everybody pick a song or a section of a song and be the one that makes that sound. I think that would be really hilarious to listen to. Probably one time, and then it wouldn't be funny anymore. But anyway,
I've always wanted to do a cover of Helter Skelter.
ooh, yeah, me too. That is an excellent song.
Because it's so atypical Beatles,
It really is.
and I like it.
Yeah, my kids really like that song too. I think that was kind of the first Beatles song that I made them listen to a bunch of times, to where they knew it was the Beatles. And there were other, they knew other songs, but they couldn't figure out who they were. That one they knew was a Beatles song.
Well, we bought a piano recently, and one of the songs my wife is learning to play, or she busts out music. She can play the saxophone. She knows how to read music. I know how to play a song, play a note, and go, that sounds like this note, and then figure it out. And she was playing Yellow Submarine. And she couldn't figure out the bass notes, and I knew the bass notes. And so we played Yellow Submarine together in our very out-of-tune piano.
Gotcha. I saw you guys playing piano, but I never listened or watched stories with sound on.
Yeah.
So I never know like
We were playing
what's
Yellow
happening.
Submarine.
Cool.
No, we were playing Blackbird. That's what it was, not Yellow Submarine. My daughter loves Blackbird. one of her favorite songs. Like when I put her to bed, she wants me to sing Blackbird. And I can play that on the guitar, and it's. I found my mom's Beatles albums the other day
Oh, nice.
in the office. Yeah,
That's awesome.
good times. What's next?
Yeah. Electronic music. Dead Mouse, etc.
I don't know a lot of electronic music. I could not like pick out a DJ or
Yeah.
whoever. If it wasn't Moby on TRL back in the 90s, and I mean I wouldn't know who it was. Or the Harlem Shake. That was a fun song.
Wow, man, you're right up there with popular culture.
Yeah, I know what's up.
I like electronic music, and there's a lot of it that I don't like. I think a lot of it is boring and repetitive and doesn't really do much. But there are certain things that I think are pretty unique. I like the sonics of electronic music more than the music. Like, I like the actual sounds that are created by some of the electronic instruments. I think are super cool. But, usually song structure is like really repetitive and simple, and so that's kind of a drag. There's a few that I like, in case anybody's into this type of stuff that wants to hear them. Dead Mouse was mentioned in the thing. He's pretty good. Knife Party.
It sounds like fun.
Yeah. It's very like... so when you listen to electronic music, you have this spectrum of heavy, hard, angry stuff all the way up to like kind of dreamy house pop, like this real... like the woman singing really high. So you have the spectrum of like all of this, and then there's every variation of all those things mixed together. I like the part that is down towards the angry, heavy stuff, but not so far that it's like hard to listen to. So really upbeat, kind of heavy electronic stuff. Knife Party is right there, and almost every song is right there. They're pretty good. So if you're into that type of thing, check them out.
I like any song where the bass hits. Like if it's just a standard thing in, I guess, EDM where the bass drops, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, I like big bass drops too.
I would play the bass in a church band, and I would try to force church songs to have a bass
Have a drop.
And I would get so upset when I'm like, stop just acousticing this song. There could be a bass drop right here.
Yeah. We were talking about that the other day, or I was talking about it to Anthony. I don't know that he responded. But one of the things I like about Radiohead and Thrice is that they have restraint, especially Radiohead. They have musical restraint that I don't have. So, like, in a lot of Radiohead songs, there's this build from the first note to the last note. It is a build of some sort. And you feel like when you get to that last note, it's about to go off the deep end, and it's about to hit really hard, and then it just doesn't. Like, they just walk away. And it's always this, oh, come on, but wow, you have a lot of self-control. And I'm not. I would drop it into the heavy thing and stay there for a really long time, because that's just what I like to play and what I like to hear. But I think the restraint is pretty impressive.
I used to call them low hardy hole notes.
What?
But I would take my bass, and when the bass would drop, and I would just get to like hit it, boom,
Yeah.
boom, like a low hardy hole note. I loved it. Made my heart happy.
That's pretty funny. All right, what else we got? Freeform Lego building. No instructions, just a bucket of parts and a dream. I love that.
Yeah, my kids and I have been doing it. We have a giant Lego bucket, and it was usually in my oldest son's room, but my youngest son has been wanting to play with Lego, so now it's upstairs.
Nice.
We've been playing with them.
I haven't done that in a very long time, but it's a lot of fun. And this is like doing instructions and, picking through a small pile of parts to find what you need. We've been doing this so much for the last year or so. We've been doing the show for a year.
Wow.
That this, like, we can have this conversation and I can do these parts and not really even have to think about it. Mm-hmm. It's a very mechanical thing, but you have to stay pretty focused on what you're doing, because you're not only like trying to build something, but you're also constantly scanning the available parts to figure out like what could you do, like what can be the next thing. We did a really fun thing. It's actually the very first or the second video on the I Like to Make Stuff channel, in case everyone will see it. We used to do these build nights where I would get all of my bricks out, not the kid stuff, and I'd put them on our kitchen table, which is kind of a big table, seats 8. Have friends over, and everybody would build for 15 minutes. Anything you want, doesn't matter. And then when the timer was up, you would pass the thing that you were building to the person to your right. And then that person had 15 minutes to do whatever they wanted to. You could start over, you could add to it, you could change it, whatever. And you would keep doing this every 15 minutes. And so after an hour, hour and a half or whatever, it would get back around to you. And that was the end of the thing. And it was so much fun because we would just talk and like just hang out and goof off. And everybody's reaching over each other and asking for pieces. And you get the thing back that you started. And you're like, well, that's not a truck. That's a dragon or whatever. It's a lot of fun. And if you have enough bricks to do that and just a handful of people, like that's a good night's fun for sure. I should do that with the kids because they're probably to the age to where they wouldn't get bored with it at this point, I think.
I think it'd be really fun.
Yeah. We could do that. We could, maybe when Forby's in town, we could do that.
Ooh.
That'd be fun. Forby's coming soon. That'd be cool. Forby, you just got volunteered for something.
Hooray!
Yay! All right, what else we got? All right, well, what's your opinion on that? I said...
Oh, I love it.
like-
I absolutely love it. That was my childhood.
Yeah.
If I wasn't drawing pictures of something that flew or was a tank or was a whatever, like we didn't have a lot of the big play sets, the big, He-Man, Gray Skull castles or, the bigger stuff that cost a lot of money. And so we had to make it. I had a giant bucket of Legos and all the rest of the Ninja Turtles got to be in their nice, cool, custom underground lair that I made.
Last night, you know how I like Transformers. Last night, went to Walmart because I had to return something. My whole family is still on vacation, by the way, so I'm here by myself. Go to Walmart, walking around, I don't have anything to do. I walk back to the toy section and I look down, and there's a Soundwave, my favorite character, G1 in the package, perfectly mint, like perfect reproduction of the one I got for Christmas when I was 8 years old or whatever. And I picked it up and I was like, this is awesome. I want this. And I looked up and all the little cassettes that went with him are in their original packaging on the wall. All of them. One of each. And I just instinctively grabbed them all and started walking out. And like, oh, I'm getting these. Of course I'm getting these. And I'm like, this is probably like $80 worth of Transformer junk that I'm going to put in a box or on a shelf. And I set them back down. I'm like, nope, not doing it. And I just walked away, and I got around the corner, and there was a scanner right there, like a price scanner. I'm like, I'll just go back and see how much they are. So I walked over, picked them back up, and it was $80 in Transformers for like 4 things. And I went, no, I'm not going to do this.
Wow.
I mean, I've been like slowly getting over that for several years, but like the dear, close to my heart Transformer was right there.
That's more restraint than I would have had.
And I was just
if there would have been Centurions on that shelf as some weird little reboot thing,
yeah,
I would have snatched them all up and then apologized later.
I've just done that so many times. And I know I'm excited about it in the moment because it's the nostalgia. And then I get them home and I'm like, well, but if I, like I open some things, but if I open this, then it's going to ruin it. And like, even if I do open it, what am I going to do with it? My kids don't really care about Transformers. They're not going to play with it. It's going to sit on a
My
shelf.
son will play with them.
It's gonna
He'll
be-
come over and play Transformers.
It's going to
with
be
me.
a thing I'm going to have to dust like all the other junk that's in there. Yeah. So I was proud of myself. I walked away. And I totally could have justified it because the suitcase that I returned was $80 and it would have been just like a wash.
That's serendipity.
But I didn't do it. Anyway, all right, what's next? We'll do one more. A couple more. 3D scanning objects.
I've never actually 3D scanned an object. From what I understand, you with an iPhone X, there is an app that you can do photogrammetry.
Grammetry? I'll have to try
I've
that.
had a couple scans of me from our friend Mark from the Making Geeks podcast. And then when we were at Matter Hackers, Alex scanned the both of us. And that's where the silly soap dispenser idea came from. But I've never actually 3D scanned an object. I would like to.
I tried it one time with an old app, a photogrammetry app that was, this was, I don't know, probably 4 years ago or something. And it was terrible. Just terrible. And I knew it wouldn't be great. But I thought you'd at least be able to get a really highly faceted model out of it or something that I couldn't. And it was a small object. It was like a dinosaur or something on a table. And so I had plenty of room to get around it and get every view of it. And I thought I'll at least be able to get the majority of the thing photographed so that the model could have enough information. And I went all the way around it multiple times, and it just didn't work. I'd get like half of it, and then I don't know, the lighting wasn't great enough or something, so I gave up on it pretty quickly.
And from what I understand about that process, unless you have a really expensive scanner, it is a fickle process.
Yeah. And it feels like it would only be valuable if you had a really super high detailed model, for the most part. And that kind of inherently says you have to have a really high quality scanner or camera or whatever. And
or you'd like to do a lot of post-processing work.
Yeah.
In Mesh Mixer or what other, kind of 3D software suites where you can fix a lot of the holes and make things flat.
It sounds like a lot of work.
Yep.
All right, last one. Bagpipes. So this was submitted by a patron that plays bagpipes, correct?
I think so.
So don't take offense, whoever that was. That I don't like bagpipes. There's a lot of things that are fantastic that people can do them or play them that are just not my thing. Right? That's fair. That doesn't mean they're bad. They're just not my thing.
Right.
Bagpipes. Pretty far up there on the list of one of those things.
Bagpipes are so loud.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, they're so loud. And I am at that age now when I hear something that's loud, I get angry immediately. Like that's my
Get off my lawn!
That's my response.
Yeah.
Like it's loud, bad.
Yeah.
I was completely indifferent to bagpipes. I thought it was neat how you'd have like, I used to watch the Notre Dame football, and they had their bagpipe corps walking down in their big Scottish-looking regalia, and I thought it was neat, and it had some, I don't know, some history to it. And then I joined the Army, and every time somebody dies and there's a memorial ceremony, they play, what's that song that now I hate? Amazing Grace on the bagpipes, which has made me hate the bagpipes and Amazing Grace. So it's okay. I don't want to say hate the bagpipes.
Yeah,
but
just there's
it
an
has now.
association. Yeah.
It has now been taken over negatively. So hooray for bagpipes! I've seen some people play it. I definitely couldn't do it.
Oh yeah, I couldn't either.
You're like inflating a bag that you are squeezing under your armpit, that is forcing air through a flute style thing with other like horns on it while you're constantly trying to inflate it. And so you're having to breathe in and blow out almost simultaneously.
Yeah, do you have to do circular breathing with it? Or
From
is
what
it
I understand,
similar?
yeah. It's like
Really?
I don't want to say like a didgeridoo, but kind of like you're having to blow and breathe. And yeah, no, I have respect for bagpipers, pipists.
Pipists? I like
Bagpipists.
pipists. That's a good one. Cool. All right, you got anything else? Let's wrap this up.
I don't think so. I got to hang out with Jimmy while you were gone.
Oh, that's cool.
Jimmy came up to Louisville. We made a pizza oven, and he rode around a college campus in a dune buggy. Like Jimmy does.
Yep. He's had a lot of go-kart action lately. That's cool. Well, I didn't get to see him. It was funny because like the one time, well, not the one time, but he comes really close to us, and then I left. I feel like that's happened before with him, actually. But whatever. Anyway, where can people find you?
On the socials at Josh_makes_stuff.
Unified them.
Yeah, all together now.
That's cool. You can find all of us at I Like to Make Stuff on all the stuff. If you don't watch the video for this, you may not be missing anything, but if you want to see it anyway, No Instructions has its own YouTube channel where the videos go up. You can see what we're working on, see our pretty faces. Anthony changes the camera around, so it's like not just a single shot. Ooh, look at the camera changing. So go check that out if you're interested. And if you want to help out this show and the whole thing, I Like to Make Stuff thing, the Patreon membership platform deal is the way to do it. We're going to be changing that a lot soon. There's a lot of new stuff coming there. It's going to get a lot of attention very soon. So go check that out. It's patreon.com/I Like to Make Stuff. I think that's it for this one. See you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
You didn't say bye.
Oh, bye.
Good job. He's a producer now.